No doubt, the aviation sector of any nation, especially airport, makes for a strong first impression of that particular country as the entry point and as a strong economic enabler. But when a recent upgrade has just been carried out in a country where hunger and extreme deprivations are real threats, let alone the yawning demands from its critical sectors like health, security, and economy, one is left to ponder on what the justification is for another airport renovation at the cost of 712 billion naira. By the way, some argue that the last upgrade of 4 airports under the previous government costs less. Well, as many of these questions run through your mind as to whether the present administration is getting its priority right by renovating a recently upgraded airport, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Barrister Festus Keyamo, joins us live on Arise Prime Time. It is my pleasure to have you join us, Honorable Minister.
Thank you for having me tonight.
Wonderful. Let's start this discussion this way. I have watched the video, interesting video, and it's good that you want to restore the prestige of the airport, but then what would you make of a father who to pay, but instead goes and buys a car, or someone whose house is burning and is chasing rats? I bring that up because of priority, the question of priority. Should that be a priority for the government at this present time?
All right, thank you. So let me first of all correct the impression in your intro. You got everything wrong in your intro. Everything wrong in your intro. Maybe you didn't make enough research. First of all, we are not renovating an airport that was recently upgraded. No. That is not the case. That means, you didn't follow the story very well. Lagos has 2 terminals, Terminal 1 and Terminal 2. It is Terminal 2 that was recently built by the federal government through a Chinese loan. Terminal 1 has not been touched since 1979. That was the one built by the Obasanjo's government, and that is our main airport. The one built with the Chinese loan is just an appendage to the main airport. It cannot even take half of our passengers. That is the one. That's why it has only 1 entrance, not a big one. That other one has more than 6 entrances. I hope you know.
Yeah, we're talking about it.
Hold on. The one facing the road, when you are going to the Lagos International Airport, along that long stretch of road, you see one building, old building facing directly, that long stretch of road. That is the one we are, and we are not rehabilitating, we are not refurbishing. We are reconstructing it.
The total carcass.
Complete. We are tearing it down entirely and reconstructing. Just, those who are in, civil engineers know what I'm talking about. When you tear down a building, it's different from demolition. Tear down is that you remove everything, the roof, the tiles. You now remain only this carcass, only all you won't do is to put the, foundation and all that. Use the same foundation. You just leave the pillars and then, of course, the slab. That is all. Then you do complete reconstruction, complete. That is what we are doing with that old airport that was built and commissioned in 1979, nearly 50 years old. And then guess what? If you are a regular traveler, Nigerians are there listening to you. Don't forget that they are not seeing you as the anchor, as Jesus who knows everything. No, it's an airport that we here in Nigeria, we all pass through. So they have their impression different from what any journalist will say. The airports, the carousels are destroyed. They don't even have the parts to repair them. The air conditioners are gone. We now use makeshift standing air conditioners, no central AC. The toilets are gone. They are old toilets, old tiles smelling. We have been patching. What we have been doing over the years is what they call the patch jobs. Something you just buy, just repair this AC, put another standing AC here. The carousels, when your bags are coming out, you wait for 1 hour, the bags have not come out because you will see the carousel will stop. They will be people will be trying to repair the carousels to bring the bags out. It was totally decrepit. And that is the image of the country. And guess what? For those who are asking, let me just go straight to your questions. for those who are asking whether it's our priority, especially the opposition. So let me spice this up with a bit of politics. That is why Nigerians hold on, come in. That's why Nigerians will not vote for them. Because they don't know what it means to run a government and the priorities of government. If you want to bring foreign investors, do you know, first of all the sectors you mentioned, whether health, education, and all the infrastructure in the country, do you know we need massive foreign investments? And I'm sure you know that no country can survive without more massive foreign investments.
That's taken for granted.
God bless you. It's taken for granted. What will the foreign investors see first of all to know the health of the country and how healthy the country is? It's the airports.
Like we said.
Once you arrive in the country, your first impression about that country is your airports. How healthy that country is. You see a healthy airport, a healthy country has a healthy airport. And we have 67%, in addition to that, we have 67% of the total volume of passengers in Nigeria going through Lagos alone. All the other airports, Port Harcourt, Enugu, Kano, all of them, they share the remaining 33%. 67% go through Lagos alone. That's the volume of passengers. Almost all the major investors and all that. How will you, for example, attract people to invest in your education industry, to invest in your power industry, without having a very good transport system? Again, the foreign airlines, don't forget that they increase their frequency to your country. Even your domestic airlines, they grow based on the safety, security, and the size of your aviation industry. So many airlines, even without, this is the first time I'm revealing it on this program, many airlines will sometimes write letters to us to say, you have to improve your scanning machines. Scanning machines are not working, if not, will stop coming. Delta Airline, let me just mention that one time to me. We had to quickly go and improvise. Because without some of these high-tech equipment now, for them to be sure that passengers who are exiting your country have been properly screened and checked before they come to their country. Checking now does not start when you land in a country. It starts from when you are boarding in the other country. And so you must have the latest, high-tech equipment passing through that airport in order for you to be considered, in order for you to be considered a safe, secure country and a destination for most of the finest airlines to come to. That is it. And then it also affects your insurance. If the country is not safe enough, the airports are not good enough, the runways are not good enough, the insurance will go up. Insurance of your domestic airline to lease aircrafts and to do their business, because they will consider your country a high-risk country.
Yeah, Minister.
Now, one more point, because I have to flow. One more point. People think airports are block and cement. That is the mentality in their heads. Airports are not block and cement. Airports, they include very intricate equipment, navigation, communication equipment, carousels, high-tech equipment, and we are going to make it a smart airport. You know what smart airports are around the world? The highest tech equipment will be in those airports. That is what it is all over the world now. And that is why if you look, your sister media house today, this day, I love what they did. They even got beyond the statistic I got. Go and read this day today. They made comparisons. In fact, they went to the airport website in the world and looked at comparisons of airports that are being refurbished, not built from the scratch. So we are not comparing oranges and apples. It's orange and orange. Airports are being refurbished across the world. The lowest is about $1 billion, 1.2. And in Africa, Angola is $3.5 billion. South Africa, $1.2 billion. Egypt, what's it called? Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, $7.8 billion. And on Cambodia, $1.5 billion. Guess what ours is? $400 and something billion. Not even less than $500 million.
Now, good you spoke.
That is what we are doing. And guess what? It's not only the building itself. We are doing an intricate complex of roads, new ring roads, 2 levels of ring roads around the airport and bridges.
I've watched that video.
So let me talk like Worry Boy now. Why you can't complain?
No,
you don't watch and you can't complain.
Not a matter of complaint. I know where you're coming from. Now let's look at this. Let's look at this picture. If Techno International Airport, I'll come back to ADC.
Yes.
Because you talked about ADC.
Yes.
If Techno International Airport, Cambodia, 9th world largest airport is being constructed, because we're talking about construction. Forget about the fact that we use renovation. Yes, construction. Then
we're reconstructing.
Yeah, no.
Totally.
Then the two is renovation and all that. 9th world largest airport is being constructed from scratch, like you said we're doing here, for $1.5 billion by CAIC. The question still remains, what's the justification for the amount being...
That is why it is 3 times more.
700.
You have answered your question yourself.
700 and...
Well, you have answered the question yourself. That's why it's 3 times more.
Which one is 3 times more?
The Cambodia you just mentioned.
That's the point.
You sure you answered yourself? You don't need to answer. I don't need to answer you. That is why it is 3 times more.
No, we're talking about it.
First of all, we are expanding. We are expanding. Hold on. No. We are expanding Terminal 2. Terminal 2,
which
that is there.
Upgraded.
Yeah, we are expanding
I'll
it.
Get to that.
Let me tell you why we're expanding it. Because as it is today, it is not used optimally. Because large body aircraft, what they call the wide bodies, cannot come into anchor. Because most of these things are blocking it, those hangars.
Minister, the question remains. The question remains. I mean, I started by saying you want the prestige and all that, and of course, foreign direct investment and all that. But now, a thriving democracy is founded on a boisterous and engaging opposition. You agree? Now, ADC...
But not an unreasonable opposition that tries out at everything.
It depends on what...
Everything they see they write.
It depends on what you mean by unreasonable opposition.
That is why they will not vote for them.
Who said so?
I'm telling you.
Not the electorate.
I'm telling you. Am I not the electorate?
Wait. ADC is arguing that this plan of government ought to have received approval from the National Assembly.
That's a different issue. We are coming to that. I'm talking about the reasonableness of it.
Let's talk about what they have talked about. I don't know what you mean by it. I've asked you, the argument, basically, as we break this down, is at this point in time, the cost, and now, okay, ADC is saying, why is it not being routed to the National Assembly?
The president has a special funding, just like it was done during the second Niger bridge, that a presidential intervention fund was used. Did they complain that time? The second Niger bridge, was it built with ordinary budgetary provision?
ADC hadn't been formed then.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm just telling you. And of course, remember the SS crude account too. All governments have had special fundings by which they do their critical large projects that you cannot do normally through special funds. And the National Assembly, they give the president leverage for such special funds. Do you know the president has what they call the service-wide votes at times? I mean, it may be complex for you because you don't know government so much, the workings of government. So that is even not a no-go area. It's a no-go area because there are special fundings for special large projects that the National Assembly is flexible about, and they give the president the elbow room to carry out large projects.
Yeah, but I understand. I understand that this is not a loan, which is good in itself. What is from the Renewed Hope Infrastructure Development Fund, made from subsidy removal, is being used. But the question then again is, why is this not being used for things like food security, education, poverty?
Have you seen the list of Renewed Hope funds and the Renewed Hope Development Fund and what the government has listed out? It covers various sectors of the economy, including education, aviation, ports, agriculture. They are major ones. They are beginning to share those, large sums.
Okay, so you're saying that this is just part of...
You should read. Go and read. Just Google Renewed Hope Infrastructural Fund and the scope. It is one of the promises of this government.
Okay,
and
so
hold on.
If it's one of the promises of the government, the question still arises. Why this now? And why at such a whopping cost instead of pressing those are like poverty, like education, like health?
Those are the very suggestive things the journalists use to turn the heads of people. You keep saying whopping. Despite the data available to you now, that is one of the cheapest airports. And I've said that 100 times. The people have read the data. They have seen other airports. But your suggestion, and hold on.
Cheapest is relative. Depending on what the country in question is going through.
That is why your whooping is relative. You keep mentioning whooping 100 times in your introduction. Your whooping is relative. I'm telling you that relative to other airports doing the same thing is 3 times less.
Are the airports and the countries you're talking about experiencing what Nigeria is experiencing?
Hold on.
That's what we're talking about.
Hold on, I'm asking you this question now. And I said so earlier. You are just dancing around the same point for 15 minutes. I have told you the importance of a major gateway to a country. And you are staying on this topic for 15 minutes. It doesn't make any sense. Because you are going to mention, 30 minutes we are going to say the same answer. Because without an aviation sector and the gateway to the country, you will not attract anybody to your country. It is the face of the country. Aviation is the face of the country. And any government that does not prioritize that, you want to destroy every single foreign investment that is coming into the country. And that's why I said, I'm going to come to them, but we have not started. This ADC, you can see, I know you are playing devil's advocate. You are a fine journalist, I've known you for years. You are just trying to play the devil's advocate for me to get the answers for the opposition. So fine, it's good. But we will start telling Nigerians who these people are very soon. And I'm coming to that. So these issues, Nigerians who are listening to us are more intelligent than most of us. They understand the issues involved here. They understand the priority we have given to the airport, the Lagos airport, which is the face of the nation, virtually the face of the nation. And guess what? It's going to have a multiplier effect on tourism. Look at Dirty December. Are you not proud of Dirty December? That Lagos is now known for Dirty December. Is that airport, that old airport, you want to bring people in all over the world to do Dirty December in Lagos? When they land, they see the heat at the airport. When they land, they go to airport they go to toilet that is smelling.
You are presenting your case, fine.
Are you not proud of this thing you are saying? Look at it, they are showing it.
It's not about, Minister, you're presenting your case, fine. But do you know you've not really answered the question?
That's to you.
On priority.
But that's to you.
No, to Nigeria.
I say you are doing it 15. You are asking the same. I've told you about priority. You are coming back to the same thing I've answered 100 times. Okay, next question.
Well, let's go to some other things.
Let Nigerians judge whether it is good or not.
Let's go. One airport is, like you said, is the carcass, you construct and all that.
Yeah.
The other is renovation. Am I right?
No, I said the Terminal B, yeah. Terminal 2, we're expanding it.
That's it.
The apron, we're starting the apron.
Good.
And the runway. Then the other one is total reconstruction.
Now that's the one that the past administration, federal government secured 106 billion.
No, you don't have your facts correct. No, that is not. That one has not been touched. The Terminal 1 has not been touched for 50 years. No loan, nothing. Just get your facts correctly.
They
took loans for 4 additional terminals all over the country, which is Kano. Let me help you.
I know.
Kano, Enugu, Abuja, and Lagos. They took loans to do those additional ones by CCECC, and it was $106 billion at that time. $106 million. Sorry, I'm mixing my.
That's what I have.
Yes, but not to that Terminal 1. Therefore, additional, not the main terminal. If you go to Kano, you see the old one standing there. You see a new terminal. If you come to Abuja, the same thing. You see that old one there, the one that we use now as local. Then you now see the new one standing there. That is it. If you go to Port Harcourt, you will see one standing there. You will see the new one. Now, the one in Enugu is not complete. Let me explain this today to everybody, why Enugu is not complete. At that time, when they took that loan, they took that loan for Kano, for Abuja, for Lagos, and Port Harcourt. So those 4 are complete. But then, normally, politics comes into everything that we do in Nigeria. So the National Assembly caucus, I guess, then, of the Southeast said, no, you have to also put 1 new terminal in the Southeast. But that time, the loan had been taken already for 4. So that they now agreed that they should do a new one in Enugu, but it has to now be budgetary. And that answers our question on this program. The inquiry, just give me 2 minutes, I'll explain it. Now, Enugu own an additional terminal, like this one under my sister, the former minister, Odua. They now put Enugu's own under budgetary allocation to say, well, we need a new terminal in Enugu to balance geographical thing and this tribal thing we talk in this country. And they say, okay, we will put. Now, guess what? All the others have been finished since, but Enugu is not finished because every year they will put 200 million, they will put 50 million. Budgetary things do not, if you do go by budgetary allocations, this envelope system that we call, for 20 years, no government will build any infrastructure None. It is only by special intervention. I have been in government enough now to know this. And that is why when President Buhari came, bless his soul, he said, I need to do something for the Southeast. I need to do the second Niger Bridge. And before him, don't forget that other governments from Obasanjo have been talking Niger Bridge. They put it in the budget, it never worked. He had to dig deep. And he established what they call the Presidential Intervention Fund, also PID. And that was what was used outside the budget to say, put this thing for the Southeast people, and the second Niger Bridge came to stay before he left. It's special intervention. So that is why Enugu terminal is not finished today, because it was budgetary allocation. So if we wait for that, Lagos Calabar will never be done. That airport will never be done. Now we have 22 months to finish it. And the money is there, special intervention, and we are ready to go. So these are the complexities in a nation of this nature. And I want to repeat it over and over again. If we are both here at a deadlock as to whether it is priority, we will take it to the Nigerian people during the election. When we commission that airport and Nigerians see it, wait whether they will vote for us or not.
Nigerians are already talking about it being a priority, not even before we get to the election.
Oh, they are talking about it being a priority.
No, not being a...
Go and see your headline today, your sister station. Headline. You know what headline said? The headline said, it said, despite applause, ADC. So the ADC was going against public opinion. That is your sister. I'm quoting you, not quoting me. They said, despite general applause, people were clapping for us. ADC, some people were writing nonsense. I'm coming for them. So don't reflect them. Don't reflect them. Let's talk about other people.
There's this question of underutilization of the Kano, Abuja, Port Harcourt terminals. What are you doing about it?
Well, I think we have to increase capacity, and see whether we can do more international flights from those stations. And these things are driven by commercial demands. So we have, over time, because Lagos was the nation's capital, you have the ports also in Lagos. So people come to do business in Lagos, maybe the ports and other, it's a commercial hub. All over the world, you always have a city that is a commercial hub, And Lagos has been like that over the years. Maybe that is why the traffic is more. So that airlines, foreign airlines who decide to come to Nigeria to do business, they look at the busiest city. And, most of them will opt for Lagos. Sometimes as aviation minister, I've told some of them, can you just shift to Port Harcourt? Can you shift to Kano? Many of them say, no, we'll get our passengers from Lagos. And you can't argue with them. It's driven by commercial demands. So our duty as a nation is to ensure that we balance it up, to ensure we ramp up, more flights, international flights to these other international airports. And don't forget, we have added one more. Maiduguri. The Northeast never had an international airport. All the other regions had. But President Shiwaju said, look, President Tinubu said, go and put an international airport for the Northeast people. And so Maiduguri has been upgraded now. We're just doing the final touches to a full international airport. So we can have flights going to Mecca, Medina, or the East, Far East or Middle East from Maiduguri. So it's our duty to, urge most of these airlines.
Push them there.
To push them.
All right, let's talk about the question of delays, customers.
Correct.
The customer is always right.
Correct.
I mean, that's an axiom. But it doesn't seem like that with the flight delays, cancellations by local airlines. When will customers ever be king and offenders reined in?
Well, it has been a big concern to us. And there are a number of factors. The first factor is the capacity of the local airlines. And so as government, the first thing we should do is to ensure that we support them to increase their capacity. Because no airline is happy to cancel or delay flights. It affects their businesses too. It affects their, the monies they raise. So while that is going on, we have set up a machinery to call them to order and to sanction them. We have what they call the Directorate of Consumer Protection, which I have empowered a lot since I came to office under the NCA. We have not been blowing our trumpet, but we want to start blowing it now. I told them, I just gave a directive last week. I said, publish the number of refunds you are making them pay every month. Publish the number of apologies, refunds, and sometimes they give some credit to say, okay, you can now get a new ticket on your next flight free of charge. All right, so they do that to compensate passengers. So we are doing that. We are doing volumes every month.
So customers are being refunded.
Oh, we have. I will publish. I can send the private data to you after this program, but we want to publish it for Nigerians. So a lot is happening there, but we also need to do more. And the more we need to do is that we need to empower the local airlines, which is what this government has concentrated on doing. You know, since we came, one of the focal points that we decided to do in the aviation industry is to empower local airlines. And that's why you see all of them are happy with this government. Because instead of condemning them, instead of fighting them, because if you close them down, you create more chaos. The aviation industry in Nigeria is run by private sector participants, not government. All of them, we have 13 active private sector, airlines running domestic, regional, and international routes. So what we have done is to make sure we give them access to credit and access to lease aircraft all over the world. We are doing that. For the first time, our policy is beginning to yield the big results. In the next few days, perhaps less than 2 weeks, we are going to announce the first big deal that the local airline is having, that in the last maybe nearly 2 decades, they have never had a dry lease coming into Nigeria. Nobody gives you a dry lease, which is 3 times less than a wet lease. They give you a wet lease, they'll bring their crew, their everything, and they'll be in charge of the plane. So that once you default, they go. A dry lease is when they give it to you. Go and do what you like. Because they are confident that within your country, it is healthy enough, it is safe enough for them to get their assets back. So the first big deal is coming. We are taking in the dry lease. And once that happens, for that local airline, the door will open for orders, and it will force down prices. Okay. We know we have secured the Heathrow routes for one of the airlines too, which we fought and fought and fought. In fact, I had to write an open letter at the point, you remember, to my British counterpart. In fact, I didn't write, the letter leaked, but I wrote a very, very stern letter to my British counterpart, the Minister of Transport. It just links to your question.
Because I'm taking a break now. Okay. I'll get to that. Okay. And I will also talk about the question of, breakdown of these costs, extant laws. We'll talk about that and some other things. All right, you're still watching Arise Prime Time. Plenty more we're discussing with the Minister of Aviation, Barrister Festus Keyamo. We'll be back in a bit and we'll continue from where we left off. Stay with us. We're glad to have you back on Arise Prime Time, where we offer perspectives on the news and talking points of the day. I am Ndi Amogan. We still have the Minister of Aviation here, Barrister Festus Keyamo, to continue discussion from where we stopped. All right, let's talk about this quite interesting, one would say, the AP's obtaining landing slots at London Heathrow, which kicks off October 26th this year. And I know that, curious to you, you strongly worded letter to the UK Secretary of Transport. Tell us the advantages and how it impacts the BASA.
Thank you very much. Well, we knew the importance of that engagement and getting one of our airlines, our flag carriers, one of our very proud flag carriers on that route. Because first of all, we wanted to make that route very competitive. Nigerians are beginning to complain, or have been complaining, about the very expensive international tickets that we buy. And we felt as government, we didn't want to leave the local airlines to their fates. Government has a duty to create an enabling environment for private businesses to thrive and for citizens to enjoy the competition, the gains of the competition in an economic competition. So we decided to ensure that we got one of our local airlines on that route, because the Lagos-London route is one of the busiest in Nigeria. You will agree with me. Even many people connecting to the US or connecting to other parts of Europe or connecting even to the Far East, they go through London. And I think it's one of our #1 international routes. So when they first gave us Gatwick, you remember I was happy about it, we applauded it, but we still complained because almost all the connection in London happens at Heathrow, not Gatwick. Okay. So Heathrow is a bigger hub where you connect so many airlines to any part of the world. You can go to Heathrow from any part of the world. So that means that Nigerians who can fly a local airline, local flag carrier to London, can connect to any part of the world. So it was important that we got our airline into Heathrow. So we started the engagement, a lot of diplomatic engagement to say, look, our own BASA, the BASA says, if I give you my tier 1 airport, you must give me your tier 1 airport. So if Lagos and Abuja are our prime airports, you also need to give us Heathrow, that is your own prime airport. And, credit to them, they listened to us, after all the back and forth engagements, we were able to get Airpeace into Heathrow. Now, the immediate implication of that are more than 2 or 3. The first is that watch the fares in the next few months. That, London-Lagos route is going to crash further. That even the Gatwick, route crashed the fare to an extent then, but then it is further crashing it now. Because I guess I'm not going to advertise on your program. You see the very mouth-watering prices that our local airline has brought out in order to run that route. These prices that are completely, unthinkable.
Did you say you're not going to advertise on my program?
Well, yes, I'm not going to advertise. So,
why?
Okay, well, so let me advertise. I think
no. I thought you were going to bring advertisement. No.
So that's what I'm saying. So, so that's the point I'm making. So we are going to have very competitive prices now. Nigerians are going to enjoy that. The second one is that Nigerians are going to enjoy the connectivity from Heathrow. That means they can fly to Heathrow, buy any other ticket, and connect to any part of the world. The third one is that it will empower our local airline to then go into what they call interline or code sharing. What it means is that you can then buy an Airpeace ticket if time goes on, because they are now there. I don't know whether they have done that, but now they have a big platform to do that. You cannot buy an Airpeace ticket to the US. Okay. So even if your Airpeace is not flying to the US, Airpeace will take you to London and then hand you over, without your stamping into London, hand you over to another airline that they have interlined with to take you to the US.
Okay.
So that empowers our local airline. So it's a beautiful arrangement, and we just want to thank God for making that possible for us.
This last before we get into politics. And by the way,
you want to drag me to
politics?
politics?
Welcome, of course. You're welcome to advertise on
for a fee.
Of course, you have to pay. It's a small thing for
really?
for
okay.
government. That
no, not government. They should come. The local people should come advertise.
Oh, well, what informed this first Nigeria International Air Show by Aviation Ministry and ANF is coming up in December, I think so.
It's to further showcase what we can do to the world. In fact, that's even one of the reasons, added reason. You are just when we need to repair our airports. An air show is a show that shows the world the potential of the aviation industry. And so there will be a lot of advertisements, a lot of, you take a lot of this, you know what what a normal, this thing is.
All right. Let's
air show. They take a lot of shops, people will buy. We have a lot of international airlines coming to display their, what they can offer, display their aircraft. And of course, for the first time, we're collaborating with the Air Force. All right. The Air Force is going to do a lot of displays on that day. So that's an air show coming up December 2nd to 4th.
Yeah, I gather that...
and we're doing it with private sector participation.
Okay.
Then the government is not spending a kobo on it.
From what is playing out, the APC seems to not be comfortable with the inroads, or so to speak, that the ADC is making, particularly with Atiku there and Obi, knowing what happened in the last election.
They are not making any inroads. We are not resting on ours. So let me say that very clearly. Any politician who says that he sees an opponent and he's laughing and beating his chest is a foolish politician. So let me tell you first of all that we are not resting on ours. We are getting more aggressive in terms of delivering the dividends of democracy to Nigerians. We are looking also at ensuring that the electorates, they trust us to take them to the next, tenure of this government and all of that. But let me tell you that the ADC is in total tatters and they are on a journey to nowhere. I'll be very honest with you. Just give me 3 uninterrupted minutes to explain this to you. The ADC as it is today is a collection of individuals who have left largely the PDP. And in leaving the PDP, they are not people who are still holding sway in PDP. They are not present people who are in power, who can influence a lot of votes. So you now have a lot of ex-DITs and in fact, people who are retired. Atiku virtually went to wake them up from retirement to say, please come and give me a semblance of a coalition.
There are also people who left. People who left APC.
No, I'll come to that. So what you have is not a coalition really of active PDP participants. I want to just look at all the names. It's a coalition of retired PDP politicians that came together under Atiku. The ones are left us, maybe 2 or 3 prominent, former prominent APC members, were all of them who did not deliver us in 2023. So we have lost nothing. And I'm serious. I don't want to mention names, but all 2 or 3 of them who left to ADC now, they all lost their states or refused to work for us in 2023. We lost nothing. So as it is today, APC have lost nothing. But let me tell you something about the ADC. Yesterday, on a similar program, and I said, I want to say it again, that I can rightly say I've declared myself that I'm a political Nostradamus. And I can tell you exactly what will happen. I did it in 2019. I did it in 2023. Go and play all my tapes back. I will tell you exactly what will happen. Now, they want to pair Obi and Atiku together. Like I said, it's not even an exposition I'm giving. It's not an expo, because either way they go, it's a journey to nowhere.
Well, that's speculative.
No. It's looking at the crystal ball. It's Nostradamus. There's one man who has been predicting elections in America for the last 40 years and got everything right, including the last one. The last 2 I predicted correctly. Not just say, oh, who will win, who will lose. No. The demography as to where we are going to lose, where we are going to win, and then sum it all and say the margin of error. And I got it right in the last 2 elections.
What do you make of
that? I'll tell you, hold on, let me finish this. If you make Atiku the presidential candidate and Obi the vice presidential candidate, because what they are trying to do, we just know, they are trying to see whether they can merge those 2 votes, 2 volume of votes together, to see whether they can surpass our 8.9 million votes. That's all. Let's just be as raw as possible. That's what they're trying to do. But they don't know that the dynamics have changed and the dynamics will change. First of all, Atiku does not possess that 6.9 million votes. Obi is more of a cult personality than an Atiku. So Atiku cannot take that 6.9 million votes away from PDP. It was the PDP structure that gave him that vote. So Atiku does not own any 6.9 million votes he's bringing to that coalition. The structures of PDP that delivered those votes, those structures are intact. He left those structures behind. Those structures did not follow him. So for him to think he wants to take some 6.9 million votes, I will give him 1 million votes out of those 6.9. The rest are PDP votes.
Are you being realistic?
I'm telling you, be honest, true, because there are PDP structures that he didn't take away. He's not a cult personality to take any PDP vote away. The PDP remains intact. The governors, the senators, House of Representatives, he did not take one away. Except maybe these Sokoto senators follow him. That's all. But hold on, let me finish. I tell you, you must give me time to finish this. I want to apologize to them if I make their spirits, if I dampen their spirits tonight. But I'm sorry, I have to do it, and to also buoy the spirits of our APC supporters, to tell them they are going nowhere. So that coalition, first of all, he cannot bring those votes into those coalitions. The second one is that once Obi is his deputy, it will look like he's hiding behind one finger to say, Obi, I want to get Obi's votes. Because they are trying to get those Obi's votes without giving Obi the ticket. They are struggling to get those votes. We tried it that time with Buhari, but we had to give Buhari the ticket because we knew he had those 12 million votes. But they don't want to give him the ticket. ADC is Atiku's party. The earlier Obi knows that, the better. So the moment he's hiding behind Obi, he should just be hiding behind one finger, because you know why? Those demography that delivered Obi in 2023,
we have less
than
30 seconds. So
the demography will not go with him. Hold on.
Let me just
The Christian demography will not go with him. I'm not saying that all of them will, maybe 50% will still go, but he will lose some of those demography. On the other hand, if you now put Obi as the candidate, there is no Northerner alive that will vote for another Southerner for another 8 years. That's what I want to talk about. That's why all the promise, hold on, all the promise of I will do one term is what they call foul. No human being, dead or alive. Even if you carry juju and swear to Nigerians, like nobody will believe him. Because
you're not speaking because he has said.
I'm telling you.
Because he has said.
Okay, it's not what he says.
You can't measure him with your own standard.
It's not about what he says. It's about what people believe. Do you see, there are two different things? So let him preach it 1,000 times. They will just be laughing at him behind. Because no man alive today, even his own people, even his wife, we know that he will not run one term. His wife.
You can't speak for me.
I'm telling you.
We'll leave it there.
So that is it. So either way they go is doomed for them. There is no way forward on that coalition. And then you now have the Obi picture of a vice presidential candidate 2019, presidential candidate 2023, vice presidential candidate 2027. It gives a picture of a desperate, unserious individual.
All right, we'll see what
that is the picture it gives. If it goes up and down like that,
it's just
it gives a serious
around the
picture.
corner. We'll see what
it's not going to happen.
We'll see what.
I apologize to the Obi supporters. I love my president the way they love him.
We see what.
Whether they abuse me or not, I don't want them to raise their hopes too much.
We'll see
to nowhere. They are going to nowhere.
Minister, we'll see what plays out. I can understand how you're beating your chest.
No, I'm not beating my chest. I'm just being a Nostradamus to say these are the situations on the ground.
Festus Keyamo,
they are going nowhere.
Of Aviation and Aerospace Development. Thank you for being on Arise Prime Time. Glad to have had you.
God bless you.